Geico presents Our Town, Season 2, a 30-minute podcast produced by Best Bart Communications, a small but fierce client-centered marketing company powered by decades of experience and well-established business networks. Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now, here's your host, Andy Ockershausen.
This is Andy Ockershausen, and this is Our Town. And we're so delighted to have a special guest. Now, I say that to everybody because I mean it. It's delighted to have you here, Josh Carin. The great tennis player Arthur Ashe said, "From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life." If that's true, then our next guest has quite a life. He's a business owner. He's a finalist in Washington Business Journal Small Business Philanthropist. He's worked with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. He fundraises for WORC and the MDA. He's active in the Greater Washington Board of Trade. He's been a mentor for the Small Business Academy. He's involved with Goodwill, the Cultural Alliance, and the D.C. Chamber of Commerce, the Levine School of Music, and D.C. Central Kitchen. Josh Carin, in your spare time, you run one of the great caterers in the free world. How do you have time for all these things?
Time. What is that?
It used to be a very good magazine.
Yes, exactly. No, my work, my family, my philanthropy, that is my life. The family first, work a very close second, and I would say the philanthropy is tied in second place. Those are the things that I do to keep myself busy.
Well, everything you're saying that you're doing is really making you a success. Whether your business is a success or not, you are a success, Josh.
Which is great. That. Thank you. I've been very, very blessed, and I was fortunate to be recognized years ago by an organization, and I made the comment that I could not do what I'm doing without the people who have supported me, and so my work, which I love, has afforded me the ability to provide for my family and to give back, which then helps foster new relationships, which then fosters new business relationships, and then allows me to get my family involved, and so it's just a great circle, a great cycle. Josh,
it's amazing what you're saying, because it's sort of the mantle we've had at WMAL, used to have for many years, and you're a native, you're local. What I didn't say is about Geppetto Catering is your business. I apologize to you for that, but I figured everybody knows you through the catering business. But where the name Geppetto, I know where I thought of it the first time, but where did you come up with this idea?
So I can't take credit for that. My partner, Charlie, owned a restaurant in town. So for the longtime Washingtonians, you might know Geppetto Pizza. And he and I met when I was in college, and we decided to start Geppetto Catering. And obviously we used the name Geppetto from the restaurants because it was a known brand within the Washington.
Now, but where did he get the name from? Let me tell you where I first heard it. In the movie Pinocchio.
Which is what everyone knows it from. And obviously Geppetto was the puppeteer, the wood carver, but
he was Pinocchio's father.
That is correct. And so we
I love the name.
I actually asked my partner Charlie where the name came from, and he told me he was reading the story Pinocchio to his daughter, and boom, there was a name.
What a wonderful name. And anybody in this town, in our town, thinks of catering, they think of Geppetto because the name is so great. It really has scored. And that's important, branding.
Branding is very important, and kind of where you started with philanthropy. Philanthropy is branding, and a dear friend of both of ours, Catherine Malloy, has been a great mentor to me, and she was the one many years ago who really got me engaged in philanthropy, and it was accidental.
And she's a trailblazer. She
without a doubt. And it's the more you do it, the more it just spirals, and in a good way. The more you give, the more you get.
We preach that to everybody, and everybody that comes on this program is that our town person almost invariably are saying the same thing, and we know that. The more you give, the more you get back.
Correct.
In so many ways.
Correct. And I think that, the thing that I would share with people is, we've been very blessed to grow into the company we are today at Geppetto Catering. And we were not always what we are today. We were a small startup.
Absolutely.
And
in 1989?
1989. And so
That's a blip. That's
exactly.
No time. Right? You've been competing against people in the business for 60, 70 years, right?
It feels that way. It feels that way
yeah.
sometimes. But what I would say is that, back in those early days when we were a much smaller company, we gave what we could.
Right.
And then as we gave, that led to other friendships and business opportunities, and then we grew and we were able to give more. And so when I say it's a circle, and
you gave them Josh Carin too. That is the
correct,
big number.
Correct. And I think a lot of times people don't, value the fact that they can give their time by board service. They can give their time by volunteering on projects. If you own or work at a business, businesses today do have programs for giving back. So if you are a carpenter, Rebuilding Together would be a great organization to support, and it gives your organization visibility, and that could lead to business. So think about it differently, I think.
Whatever happened to the pizza business?
So
did you all close that?
We sold it. So
is it still in business with your name?
It is not. So the original Geppetto was on M Street in Georgetown. We sold that restaurant many, many years ago. The people who acquired it actually changed the concept and became very successful in some other businesses within the area. The second one, which was in Bethesda, we sold it, and the people were using the name for a period during the transition. And recently, they transitioned it to a new name that they are now using as their business.
Being born and raised and going third generation Washingtonian, I can tell you when I grew up, the pizza, nobody knew what it was. Occasionally, if you had an Italian friend, his grandmother would fix it. And the only pizza place in Washington was a place called the Cavalier on 14th Street. We're talking about now the 40s and 50s.
Right.
You had to get on a streetcar to get to it. Now there's a pizza on every corner in America.
There is. And I remember Geppetto was the first true Chicago-style pizza in Washington. And then we were also highly regarded for our white pizza. And,
and our first time I've ever had white pizza.
Yeah, and then our ricotta pie. So those, our Sicilian pizzas, our white pizzas, and our ricotta pie were the three things that people knew us for. So actually, on the catering menu, I have kept the white pizza and I have kept the ricotta pie.
Do you? Great.
And most people who have them don't know the history of the restaurant, but the long-standing Washingtonians, they really appreciate it.
And you use your pizzas and so forth for stand-up cocktail parties, right?
Without a doubt. The white pizzas are a home run every time.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I do enjoy white pizza. So let's talk about the food business. Let's take a break here and come back and talk about the catering business.
Sounds great.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
You're listening to Our Town.
This is Andy Ockershausen. This is Our Town, and we're having a wonderful conversation with Josh Carin and Geppetto Catering. Now, Josh, you're in a very competitive world, but
yes,
it is so important in our town that we have catering because this is a very, very entertaining town, as I'm told.
Without a doubt.
And your business has grown tremendously in my knowledge of it, because I see it from the outside looking in.
It's amazing. I mean, I remember vividly when we're a greed caterer, and so our lights are on motion sensors. And I remember going into the office on a Saturday, with my kids and my wife to pop in and do something real quick, and no one was there.
Your partner.
My wife, exactly. My wife was my first employee, so yes, the real boss. And my kids were younger, and they kind of started to run through the facility, and then the lights were popping on as they kind of hit different zones. And I just kind of saw their backs and saw them running and the lights going on. I thought, my gosh, look what we have built. It is amazing. I mean, if you ever would have told me 28 years ago we would be what we are today, I would tell you you're off your rocker. And I think that's because we're growing organically, and we're growing through referrals, and we're growing.
Josh, it didn't happen because you put the name out there. It happened because somebody had to work very hard to get this prominence that you've achieved.
Well, I have a great team of people. Geppetto Catering is 28 years old, and the average tenure for one of our employees is over 15 years. So
there you go.
We've got people that have been with us over 20 years. I had someone retire at the end of last year who was the second longest employee. I still have someone who's been with me 26 years. So it's the people, it's the people that support me, that make me look good and make me have this opportunity to sit with you. But the business is definitely more competitive now. There are more players in the market. There are, restaurants are catering now. You can actually order food through Uber now. So it is
Uber
is delivering. Uber is delivering. So it is a very, very different business. And so I think that, when I think of myself and I think of the people that do what we do, what we are beyond the food, we're providing services such as support staff, whether it be valet parking, coat check, waiters, bartenders. We're providing decor. That could be florals, lighting.
Is that right? You go that deeply, huh?
All of that. We provide. So what we do is actually more than just food and beverage. In fact, that is the easiest part of what we do.
Wow,
the food
that's
and beverage.
Knowledge to me.
It's the.
You can help with parking. You're going to provide attendance.
We can provide music. We can provide really anything that you need to have an event. And so the devil is in the details, and finding out what the goal is of the host, and helping them achieve that. And in our changing world of technology, you are competing against people going to websites and pricing these things out, and then you are competing against that. And Sims, is Sims still around?
Sims?
Yes.
Educated consumer?
Yes, the educated consumer is our best customer. That really, to me,
that was a fabulous campaign.
It was, and you know what? It is true to this day. And I think technology is wonderful. I think it's a great
Marcy
tool.
was her name, right?
Yes, Marcy. We never figured out if Marcy was the daughter, the wife, the girlfriend.
What a fabulous campaign! It comes back to all of it.
But it's so true. It is so true, and so I think any business today, not just catering, whatever it is, you are competing against technology where you have people that are accustomed to going online, making a decision, clicking a button, and moving forward. Now, in most cases, you're buying a shirt, you're buying, a piece of equipment for your stereo system, whatever it might be. You're buying something. You know what it is.
A
product. Thank you. But we're in the service business, and I think anyone that's in the service business is competing against that technology. And what people don't understand is that, again, the food is the easiest part of what we do. It's all of the other pieces to the puzzle.
You probably have a real joy in the fact that people are, like you said, more educated when they come to do business with you. And they're probably more creative. Now they have Pinterest to work off of.
Without a doubt.
They have social media, so their demands are more.
They bring great ideas. They bring wonderful, wonderful ideas. And then it's helping them find out if it's within the budget. Okay, and so the creativity is wonderful. The involvement from your customer on some events is high, and that's great. And it's also getting your hand around those costs and making sure that the things that someone might be taking on themselves, that they're getting vendors that are reputable and they're going to deliver.
Because it's really a commingling of,
without a doubt,
the professional and the non-professional. I'm sure it happens a lot. But you're working on in the corporate world, but you're also working on weddings and personal things
Correct.
as well.
We're working on country weddings,
Yeah.
which are a lot of fun. We're doing
Country weddings?
Country weddings. I love them.
Potomac. Potomac's not country.
Well, it used to
When
be
I
Potomac.
grew up
When I grew up, Potomac was country.
Way out in the country.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
my
all.
God.
That's all changing. But I love country weddings because what I have found is that the couple is getting back to the roots of what it should be about, which is their love for one another, family and friends. The environment in the country lends itself to be less formal. And so when I talk to families that we're helping, what I really equate it to, it's like, we're going to have a great party and we're going to meet at this beautiful farm, and whether it's a family farm or something they've rented. And by the way, while you're here, give us 15 minutes. We're going to go by that oak tree by the pond, get married, and then come back to the party. And so the focus is really about the couple, their love, and their family and their friends. We did a wedding last year on a farm. It was actually awesome. A local couple had been together for years, and they had a child together, but they never got married. They were engaged, they just never got married. So they invited everybody to a farm on a holiday for just a picnic. They thought it was a picnic. And everyone's there and they're having a good time, and then the couple kind of gets up and says, hey, as long as you're all here, we're finally going to tie the knot. Grab a chair, we're going over by that tree and we're getting married. And then we got married by the tree, and then around the corner there was a tent with everything set for the party. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It was just a wonderful it was just a wonderful couple, and it was really what it was about, and what it should be about. And so I love the country weddings. I love the corporate events, because in this town you're going to so many cool, unique places. The places I've gone, the things I've seen, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Do you personally check out the sites?
A lot of times.
Involved in it?
I've got a great team, and so what I would say is on some
all
of the
teams need a captain, though.
They do.
Josh,
and
what's trending location-wise these days?
I'm seeing a lot of outdoor venues are really, really hot. I'm seeing a lot of the office buildings that are being built in the city are creating these wonderful event spaces within them. I think it's a diversification. What they realize is they've got their tenants within the building, but if they create this grandiose patio or rooftop, then they've got a great venue space. So the rooftops, the green, green building, USGBC built buildings where they're doing the green roofs, and they're just gorgeous. And what you're starting to see is some of them aren't. What you saw in the beginning was it was a roof. Okay, and it was a lovely space, but then your issue was if it rained. What they're now doing is they're building these beautiful event spaces that are enclosed on top of the roof, and then it has an outdoor component. So if the weather is inclement, you still have the striking views. I mean, if you look at the Hay Adams, they had that beautiful roof. They had a tent on it for years, and then Hans and their team, they basically added a floor, and it's now an enclosed, beautiful space for events.
We've been to several weddings at the erstwhile hotel, correct?
Yeah.
With a view of the White House.
Yeah, it's
Janice
beautiful.
and I look like we're standing in front of the White House because we've taken so many pictures.
It's beautiful, without a doubt. So I would say that those are the things that I'm seeing.
Well, Josh, I want to talk to you about your family, about your wife, and how she saved you.
Yes,
and,
without a doubt.
This is our town, and everybody needs a savior. Thank the Lord, I got mine sitting next to me. This is Andy Ockershausen, and we're talking to Josh Carin on Our Town.
Are you still promising yourself or your spouse to get your will updated and a good basic estate plan in place? Are you finally ready to make sure you don't leave a mess behind for your family to clean up? Give me just 2 hours and I'll show you how. I'm attorney Mike Collins, host of radio's Legally Speaking show. Come to my seminar and I'll teach you what you need to know about wills, trusts, taxes, probate, how to keep your money in your family. Register now at MikeCollins.com, and I'll even waive the tuition. That's MikeCollins.com.
Hi, Tony Sybil here to tell you about Tony and Joe's and Nick's Riverside Grill at Washington Harbor in Georgetown. Spectacular new restaurants. We've spent a lot of time rebuilding. You'll love it. It's really fantastic. For any information, you can go online to tonyandjoes.com. It'll be a wonderful experience for the whole family. Call 202-944-4545 to make reservations. Everything is fabulous. You got to come down and have some wonderful food.
You're listening to Our Town with Andy Ockershausen. Brought to you by Best Bark Communications.
This is Andy Ockershausen. This is Our Town, and we're talking to Josh Carin about Geppetto Catering and about his personal life. I know why he's been so successful, but I won't hand it from him. Who is this young lady that enraptured you and said, I want to be your partner?
It is my lovely wife, Moira. And so
what a great name, Moira.
I love her. Love her to death. Great name. Her maiden name is Geronimo. So she's even got a really strong last name. And
wait a minute, is it the Geronimo?
No relation, but we know Moira
it's an
Geronimo.
Italian name, is it not?
I don't know.
I've heard the name before, but
well, I love it.
Geronimo was a famous Indian.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely. We know who he was.
So, but
he was an Apache.
So, but
not Italian.
She is the best. So Moira was my first employee at Geppetto Catering, and so
you still had the pizza business when you hired her?
Still had the pizza place. In fact, we started Geppetto Catering out of one of the restaurants, and then so Moira and I met about 27 years ago, and obviously at that point it was a two-man band. It was she and I. We took the phone calls on the phone. We made the food. We made the deliveries.
She made your business.
She made my business. She made me. But I tell her she loved me from the day she met me because she can tell you what I was wearing. So I'm just saying, I had a little bit of mojo.
Were you in the restaurant business then?
I was. So, but Moira and I fell in love over romaine lettuce in a kitchen, and
the story of your engagement is a great story. How it happened, and we want to hear it, Josh. Tell us.
So when Moira and I were dating, we had a French restaurant that we used to go to on a regular basis. That's no longer around, and so we would literally be there 2-3 times a week, sometimes more. The staff knew us very well; they were like family. Christmas time, they got holiday gifts from us. It was lovely. So one night we went to dinner. And I called the owner and I said, I'm coming and I'm going to propose tonight. So I handed him the ring. And it was not uncustomary for him to give us a glass of wine or something to eat because we were there so often. And so at the end of the evening, he brought over a couple glasses of champagne. And in her glass was her diamond ring. Now, I will tell you, I was mortified that she would drink it, and I would have, a Heimlich incident. That didn't happen. She just sipped
She didn't swallow it.
She didn't swallow it. She sipped it, and everyone in the restaurant's looking at her. Do you see the ring? And she's thinking, why is everyone looking at me? I'm like, look in the glass. And there was the ring. So
what a great story.
So that is
and
how.
she never looked back after that, bro.
Never looked back. She was the boss before then. She was the boss when we got married, and she's still the boss.
Well, that is true. You're a lucky man because I go through the same thing every day with Janice. And we love our town so much and love all the things, and particularly what you've done. And we preach it, and you're a living example of it. The more you give, the more you get back.
It is an amazing thing. People don't understand how much joy you get from it, and
you're involved in so many things, but that's all so great for business to be involved.
Without a doubt,
it's a two-edged sword.
One of my favorite stories is our dear friend Catherine Malloy. She used to be at Clear Channel, as you know, and she was involved with a nonprofit, something she supported, and so they were having meetings at her office for some event they were working on, and so she would order food from my company to provide for the guests coming to the meeting.
How about that?
So one of the guests at the meeting really liked the food, and they worked at a very large university in town, and asked who did the catering. Catherine shared my name. The university called us, and I have been working with them ever since. And so and I believe that, because it was for a charity event, Catherine asked us to either discount it or donate it or what. And so we did, I don't remember what we did, but obviously we supported her and we supported the organization. And then ironically, through that business relationship, the person then reached out to me about the nonprofit. It's actually Muscular Dystrophy Association. So I then got involved with MDA. And so if it was not for meeting for Catherine at the Board of Trade, that developed into a friendship, that then developed into her ordering food for a meeting.
It always does, just connect the dots.
Connect the dots. That's why.
Boy, does that make life so much better, doesn't it?
It is. You don't have to run after business.
I had a lot of tutoring in the early days and learned from people who were involved. And one of the things I learned from a man who is not with us anymore, a fabulous man named Leonard Doggett, Bud Doggett, used to preach to me a fact that I found so true. Show up and return your phone call. You will be successful because most people don't do that.
Yep, exactly.
It's not that you're so great, it's that other people don't follow through on it. Show up and return your phone call.
Correct.
You did that.
Yep, without
Continue
a doubt.
to do it, right?
Continue to do it. It is, and again, I think that's the challenge with technology today, is that we are so accustomed to communicating via email, via texting. I tell my team, if you can't communicate what you need to say in 3 sentences, pick up the phone and call them. Because
boy, does that make a difference?
Because it is so foreign today to have a conversation. And one of the other things that I do is I like to write thank you notes. And I don't take this envelope and run it through a machine with this printed stamp. I get a stamp and I lick it and I put it on the envelope. And I will tell you, I get notes periodically and I put them on my desk and I save them forever. And so I think
it's so easy to do too. And the thing that bothers me about the new world to me is email. There's no passion with email.
Yep.
The telephone, you can't see it, but you can feel passion on the telephone.
Yep, without a doubt.
And when you're selling something, it works.
I'm not a Facebooker. I'm not doing any of that stuff, and personally, and I just learned to text last year. And I the only reason I did it is because I have teenage children, so it was the best way for me to communicate
keep up with them.
Exactly. So, but I that is what scares me. One of the things that I love to do, and I've been doing for years, is going in and speaking at high schools about networking and about how to create relationships. And one of the things that I love to do is I have one of these indestructible phone cases. So I take my phone and I fling it across the room. and I'm like, you do not need these devices. And the gasp of these young adults, and it's like their world is going to shatter. And so I believe in my heart of hearts that being engaged, showing up, giving till it hurts, those all connect the dots. But I also believe that we, if we're not careful, we are going to lose the ability to communicate, how to have a conversation like we're having right now. Because when you talk to young adults now, they don't look at you. They're looking down. They don't know how to shake a hand.
Or they're looking at their phone.
They're looking at their phones. I mean, think about
there's no engagement.
None.
That's what's so bothersome. There's no engagement. There's no inquisitiveness about what you're doing or how you're doing. It's also self-focused.
Yep.
And I think that's the shutdown. That's the barrier. That's the wall.
Now, make no mistake. There's great young adults out there. We Don Bosco Ray High School. We have
that's our charity.
Yep. So
Don Bosco Cristo Ray.
Yep.
So on the board.
Okay. Well, we have two students.
We give them a lot of money. I can tell you that.
We have 2 students and love them, and we got one, and we have a
great kids,
great young adults. They really are doing a great job over there. We actually have one of their students. They're on spring break, and we hired them to work. So we're putting money in their pocket, but just great young adults.
Thank you, Josh, for that.
Oh, Josh. We've seen it for 10 years.
Yeah.
The school's now 10 years old, and we've seen it when it was nothing, and now it's thriving.
Oh, it's amazing. So it's not our future is all going
great
to
hands, right?
We've got great young. We need more of that.
Those are the sponges. Those kids that are going to listen to what you have to say. They see that you have achieved. They see that you're successful, and they're open to it. And I think those words of wisdom, the nuggets that you provide, and as long as we keep doing this, there are people that are going to be sponges and accept this information. information.
Without a doubt.
And those are the ones that are going to succeed.
I heard a lot of people in the jobs at work, the school at works programs, they hired the kids to be good citizens for the school. Then they found that they were hiring good employees.
Oh, they're great.
They had no idea these kids would work so hard.
I have a student that's graduating this year, and I am so happy for her, and she's going off to college. Beautiful young kid. But in the pit of my soul, I'm sad she's graduating because I wanted her another year or two. So
if she goes to school here, you might find her somewhere.
I hope so. Well, actually, she's going out of state, but we'll keep in touch with her.
Well, Josh, we're so proud. I mean, Janice and I of what you're saying and what you do, and using you as an example now of really working to get ahead. It pays off. You're a happy man. You have a wonderful family. You have a wonderful business. But it didn't just happen, Josh. You worked it.
I worked hard, and and I continue to. But I enjoy what I do, and I think that
you get up every day.
I look forward to it, and I think that that's also the secret sauce.
No
I think that you have to figure out what you like, and just do it because you like doing it, and then the rest will come. And
that's such good advice. We tell young people that all the time.
Josh, give us your website address and then give us your phone number.
So our web address is www.geppettocatering.com, which is GEPPETTO Catering, CATERING.
Think of Pinocchio.
Exactly. And then in addition to that, our phone number is 301-927-8800.
Call and have some of that good white pizza.
Exactly. Don't forget the ricotta pie for dessert.
There you go.
Josh, this has been so delightful, and thank you for all you do and for our town. And we didn't talk much about the Board of Trade, but I know it made my life. And has done so much for you, and it will continue to. I tell young people that. Get involved.
Get involved. It is the one organization. I've been there for over 25 years, and I would never, ever think of leaving.
I mean, they do such good things. This has been Our Town. This is Andy Ockershausen with the most famous caterer I know, Josh Carin.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
You've been listening to Our Town, Season 2, presented by Geico, our hometown favorite, with your host, Andy Ockershausen. New Our Town episodes are released each Tuesday and Thursday. Drop us a line with your comments or suggestions. See us on Facebook or visit our website at OurTownDC.com. Our special thanks to Ken Hunter, our technical director, and WMAL Radio in Washington, D.C. for hosting our podcast. And thanks to Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance.